The sheer amount of waste and fraud in the government. It is astonishing. It's mind-blowing. We routinely encounter wastes of $1 billion or more. Casually.
Like, just the mere things that he's saying about the waste and fraud in our government is actually mind-blowing to me. It ain't their money. They blowing your money.
Dollar, 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 dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, cut the chatter. You ain't talking.
All right, Elon Musk on Fox News talks about fraud and waste. I'm telling you guys, if just a fraction of what just one thing Elon says is accurate. It's insane. He's going to say it on here, but he was saying something like there was a system that only cost $10,000 to do. It's like a survey system. It only cost $10,000, but our government was getting charged $1 billion for that system. If nothing else Elon says is accurate or correct about anything, if just that one thing where a $10,000 product costs $1 billion to the United States government, that's just insane. Roll the clip.
What's the most astonishing thing you found out in this process?
The sheer amount of waste and fraud in the government. It is astonishing. It's mind-blowing. We routinely encounter wastes of $1 billion or more, casually. For example, like the simple survey that was literally a 10-question survey that you could do with SurveyMonkey, cost you about $10,000, was the government was being charged almost $1 billion for that.
For just the survey?
$1 billion for a simple online survey, do you like the national park? And then there appeared to be no feedback loop for what would be done with that survey. So the survey would just go into nothing. It was like insane.
Even if that was all, you know how maddening crazy that is? A survey, I'm sure the infrastructure he's saying on using a certain app or something will cost $10,000. We're getting charged nearly $1 billion to use it. And then when people take the survey, it goes nowhere. There's nobody's even monitoring it. So we're paying almost $1 billion for people to take a survey to nowhere. Like, you guys, this is insane. This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com, two things I want to let you know. The sales section, 80% off. You better get it now because we're getting ready to end the 80% off. Also, everybody keeps asking me about this DOGE shirt. Literally, somebody came here in a meeting and said, please, I want one of these shirts. But it's now available right now on the Office Tatum store. It's DOGE Agent T-shirt. The DOGE Agent T-shirt gets you one a day and trigger these liberals. I don't know why they mad, because we're holding the government accountable, but we're going to do it every chance we get to rub it in their face. Get you one of these shirts today, TatumStore.com. All right, let's get to the next clip of Elon. Roll the next clip.
The ways that the government is defrauded is that the computer systems don't talk to each other. You can exploit that gap, and fraudsters exploit that gap, take advantage. For example, there were over $300 million of Small Business Administration loans that has been given out to people under the age of 11. We should not be giving out loans to babies. So the youngest recipient of a Small Business Administration loan is a 9-month-old, which is a very, very precocious baby we're talking about here. So obviously it was just fraudulent. And they do terrible things. They actually will see that a kid's been born. They will steal that kid's social security number and then take out a loan and leave that kid with a bad credit rating. There was literally a baby. The terrible things are being done is what we're saying.
The reason this is happening is because the two systems are not talking to each other.
Yes.
Right. And so you don't know at the Small Business Administration that you're giving a loan to a 9-month-old, which happened in one case, because you're not cross-referencing that with the Social Security Administration data that has birth dates. So that very, very simple fix eliminates tremendous fraud. And that there are multiple systems across the government where the systems are not speaking with one another. And if you just solve that simple problem, you would solve a huge amount of fraud.
Because under the Biden administration, there was no departmental oversight within the Department of Interior whatsoever. None. We are now reviewing every single contract, every single grant, and when things come to my attention that don't make sense, I'm bringing them to Secretary Burgum, and he has been fantastic. It's pretty disruptive.
Well, this is a revolution, and I think it might be the biggest revolution in government since the original revolution. But at the end of the day, America is going to be in much better shape. America will be solvent. The critical programs that people depend upon will work, and it's going to be a fantastic future. But are we going to get a lot of complaints along the way? Absolutely. One of the things I learned at PayPal was, who complains the loudest? And with the most amount of fake righteous indignation, the fraudsters. It's a tell. Some of these NGOs that are crazy, like the $2 billion to Stacey Abrams' NGO that basically didn't exist, and suddenly gets $2 billion awarded from the federal government. Why? And there are many such cases like that. The reason we're doing this is because if we don't do it, America's going to go insolvent, we're going to go bankrupt, and nobody's going to get anything. If a commercial company operated the way the federal government does, then it would be immediately go bankrupt. It would be delisted. The officers would be arrested. The changes we're putting in place will enable the federal government to pass an audit. It will enable taxpayers to know where the money is going and know that their hard-earned tax dollars are being spent well.
That's enough to burn a Tesla right there. Burn the whole building down.
Pause.
Call him Hitler because he said he want to hold the government accountable to not blowing your money like that at a strip club on a Friday night. Why are people mad at that? Like, just the mere things that he's saying about the waste and fraud in our government is actually mind-blowing to me. That we have one of the biggest budgets. Just say that the government was like a company. That it's one of the, you could print money. There's trillions of dollars in the budget. There's no end to access that the government have to put in protections. Why have we not done those from the foundation of the country? We should always have an audit. Every single major company that I know, every single major nonprofit that I know, they hire a third-party company to come and do an audit of their company to make sure that everything is lined up correctly. Every major company that I know does that. How does the government escape having a legitimized audit to make sure that they're spending your money right? It ain't their money. If the government was imposing tariffs and they were bringing in income as a government system outside of the people and they were blowing their own money, that'd be different. They blowing your money. You don't want to look at that bill and say, God dang, I owe taxes this year. Mother, I was not trying to do that. I was not trying to owe that much taxes. I wish that I can avoid these taxes. If I didn't have to pay $100,000 in taxes, how many more people can I hire? How much more advertisement can I do? How much more inventory can I buy? How much more expansion can I have if I hadn't paid all these taxes? I probably paid over $500,000 in taxes in the last couple of years. I think I paid $100,000 plus every single year for like 5 years or more. And I'm like trying my best to spit all my money in the company so that my taxable income is incredibly low. And they still rake me over the coals with it. And then you find that they didn't blew your money on healthcare for chimpanzees in Indonesia or something. You're like, that's $500,000 that you just spent there. You could just gave that back to me. And I could have flipped that, turned that into $5 million. Okay.